Now let us understand about how to understand your elements or how to identify your elements on a web application using your XPath. So XPath is basically available in two ways. One is going to be called as absolute XPath. Another one is going to be called as relative XPath. Absolute XPath is the XPath which is going to help you to identify the elements basically from your root HTML tag. Relative XPath is the element which is going to identify the any element intermediately without taking the reference of your root tag HTML. So what is that root tag and how to identify the element? What is this intermediate element? Okay. So let us understand that more easily. So basically the HTML structure is going to look like this. HTML, right? So next one is going to be called as your head. Then will be having body, and we'll be having a closing HTML tag here. So inside this body, right, what will be available? All your web elements. Web elements are the elements which are going to available on your application. Okay. So now basically we'll be using majorly 8 controls to interact with your application. For example, I want to create a text box. Okay. So for that, we'll be having a label, say like username. So I'll be having a label available here. So the next one, I'll be having a text box available, right? Input type equal to text. Input type equal to text. Fine. Now, now, so let's try to understand a small concept of your HTML here. Then we'll be deep dive into your absolute XPath or relative XPath. Now, similarly, right, the developer is going to create a one more element, call it as a label. Again, I'm going to be call it as password. Again, I'm going to be call it as a label here. Then let me write input type equal to text. That's fine. So input type equal to text. Now, to identify this input text box, right? If I'm going to use my absolute XPath, what the developer is going to, what the actual QA is going to do, right? He'll take the help of this HTML from here, where the element is available. The element is available in your body tag, HTML forward slash the body tag, then forward slash your label, no, your input tag. So now to represent your absolute XPath, in XPath we'll be using the indication, call it as forward slash. Forward slash indicates that it is a absolute XPath. So which is a very tedious process in writing your XPath. I'll tell why it is tedious process. HTML forward slash, then I have to go into my body, then I have to go into my input. So assume that if the page is having different categories, different sections available. So basically, right, if you take this is going to be web layout. So assume that this is going to be web layout. This entire thing is web layout. Web layout is nothing but your web page. So the developer, what he is to, right, for his beautification purpose, he is going to categorize into section by section. So now he is going to categorize this into one section and this into one section and this into one section and he is going to be convert this one into one section, and he may convert this one into three sections. He may, I don't know. There might be chance of doing like this. Okay. So now he'll be having a footer and a header available here, a footer and as well as a header available. So now what happened, right? For his convenient purpose, developer is going to break down the application layout which is available inside, right, into different sections. Now the structure is going to be increased a lot. So normally, usually, right, to represent these sections, the developer is going to use a HTML tag called as div, or he is going to use a HTML tag called section. Okay. So now for this division, what he is going to do, right? He is going to apply some CSS properties, width equal to 500 pixels, okay, and height is equal to 200 pixels. Might be like this is going to be give some height and width to allocate these spaces on the web page. So now like this, if it's going to be increased like this, right, the elements are available underneath with some division. Now to identify these division elements, right, it will take lot of time to write this XPath, which is going to be called it as your absolute XPath. So in between, if the developer is going to delete any one of the division tag here, right, again you have to remodify your absolute XPath. So identifying the elements, taking the help of this HTML tag to your desired element using this XPath, right, is going to be called it as absolute XPath. In XPath to represent this tag is going to be available as a absolute XPath, right? We are going to use your forward slash. Now let us see the same thing on your any one of the application in writing identifying that. So let me go and clear all my drawings here that are available. So now let me open this application. Okay. So let me go and inspect that web page. So to view your HTML DOM structure, what you want to do, either go and press your function and F12, or in right give a right click on your web page and choose the option called inspect. Now what I want to do here is I want to identify this register link. Okay. Now see here what this developer did, right? He broke down his entire pages in different sections. That's what I told you. Here there is a division, and again here there is a division. Here there is a division. Here there is a division. So now what I want to do here is I want to write my absolute XPath in order to identify my which one, the register link. So let's see how tedious this is going to be the process. So I told you we are going to take the help of your HTML tag. HTML. Now if I use my HTML, right? So wherever there is a HTML available, it is going to get identified. Now use your forward slash. Forward slash. Where is the tag available? The tag is available in between your body tag. Write your body. Okay. See now the body got identified here. Now where is your element available? My element is available in this particular division. So now let's count what is the number of this division. What is the number or what is the position of this division? Say like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Yes, my element is available in my sixth division. So forward slash division of 6. Now see, the element is identified with my sixth division. Now inside that, there is a division again. Okay, and again forward slash, there is a division again. Again forward slash, there is a division, but unexpectedly it is available my second division. So I want to use my division number 2. So then again there is a division available. Again there is a UL. Again there is a LI, and again I have to use my A. So to identify this particular element, the navigation path has been gone through like this. So now this is your absolute XPath. So how tedious process is this? Assume there are 100 divisions available in between. I need to go and count this all the 100 elements, right? So Generally, right, identifying the elements using your absolute XPath is definitely a tedious process. Okay, so to replace this, identifying the elements using your absolute XPath, right? So we have a beautiful replacement called it as relative XPath. You're going to use relative XPath. So let's try to understand what is that relative XPath and how can I use that in identifying the elements now.